Hello, it's just David here with a weekly message. Hope you're doing okay. We've resumed in the past week gathered worship and the Welland team. Hope that's going okay. Obviously, keeping an eye on things, but we'll carry on that sort of mixed mode basis of both live streaming and having gathered worship. I mean, hopefully now at least until the end of the restrictions, hopefully there'll be no more interruptions to gathered worship. But if necessary, of course, we will review that. Next Sunday is Mothering Sunday, and for many it will be a very joyful and happy time. And I hope, particularly in this time when perhaps one is, separated from parents or children. It's not always possible for households to get together, etc. Hopefully, people will still find ways of celebrating that time and marking it. I want to just think a little bit about that for a moment. Um, of course, for many people, perhaps most people, Mothering Sunday is a time of fairly unalloyed joy. Um, it might be that we're a mother ourselves, and we obviously love our children, and that's terrific, and they're a great boon and benefit to us. Even though those who aren't mothers, I'm never likely to be a mother, frankly. Um, can still celebrate the love that our mothers show us or have shown us in the past, and celebrate and be happy for that. Every year, the clergy slightly pause there because then there's always a but. And sometimes I think perhaps people who just have that sense of unalloyed joy, for which it's great, and there's no way I'm going to stop celebrating the love of mothers for children and vice versa, because of course it's one of the fundamentals of human life. But there does need to be a footnote that says, life isn't perfect, that, sometimes things don't work out, and therefore sometimes it may be for personal reasons that, that sense of joy is kind of undercut by a sadness in their own life. Variety of reasons. Maybe you haven't been able to have a child, or relationships between children and parents haven't been all that you've wanted or expected them to be. And we need to sort of acknowledge that. And I think, as I say, talking a little bit with my colleagues, it's not always it's not an easy thing to kind of thread your way through. Of course, Mothering Sunday then isn't just simply about human love in that sense. It was about the time when people perhaps returned to Mother Church, and that was very important. Maybe it was physically going back to the village or the town you'd come from. You'd see your family, but also you'd see your church family as well. That community. But also, we know, of course, church families are also, you know, sometimes, most of the time, hopefully, they're great, but also, like human families, they also have their difficulties. So we think about those as well, and of course that um, idea of Mother Church, I suppose, is sort of in a way to kind of go alongside the idea that God is our Father. Um, in the same way, we often refer to the church as feminine because we think of it as being the bride of Christ. Christ is the bridegroom. Um, very often there's that image of the bridegroom coming to the wedding feast. It's in Jesus in parables, it's the book of Revelation, etc., etc. I want, therefore, though, to slightly then go beyond that, because I want also, and perhaps it's the kind of the easiest sort of risk-free way of doing it, is to say that the ultimate example of motherhood is given to us by God Himself. And you might say, well, isn't God our Father? And of course that's true. But I just want to think about that for a moment. We primarily, and I think quite rightly, say that God is our Father. I mean, that's how Jesus taught us to pray, Our Father who art in heaven. And we talk of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And I think that's right. I think in a way that's a normal way to pray. But I do think it's possible to think of God as mother as well, because I think God's love incorporates all those aspects of human loving, and um, you know theologians, and it's a difficult line to sort of walk again. Theologians always said that in the end those are sort of human images. When you say God is our Father, there is no sign in the Bible or in the sort of earliest Christian theology that God is male. I mean, that would be a rather unfortunate thing. I mean, he's beyond male and female, and therefore he kind of incorporates all the best things about human love, and that's why we have to use this variety of image. So you talk about God our Father, but then you also talk of Jesus as being the bridegroom, and then having the idea of the sort of husband and wife love being the analogy, as well as the parents analogy. You kind of need more than one analogy to sort of fill out that picture of God's love. So it's quite right in that the idea of God as our mother is perfectly sort of normal and acceptable. Jesus uses it himself. I think that's the sort of classic one, isn't it? Where he's talking about a mother hen, but he says, if I talk about Jerusalem, if only I were a mother hen gathering you under my wings. I mean, that's an obvious sort of maternal image that Jesus used to refer to himself. Now, obviously, Jesus himself is a man. He's male, but he's not afraid to use that image to talk of himself. And there's quite a few images in the Old Testament, particularly, in which God sees himself as being both a mother and a father to Israel. So I say, once we've kind of got through all the ambiguities of Mothering Sunday, perhaps I want to say, in a way, the safest thing to say is that as we celebrate the love of our human mothers, we remember above all the place from where all that love comes, which is from God himself. God, who is both our Father and our Mother, and whose love is profound enough that it's beyond all those human images. It's beyond the love of a husband or a wife, a brother and a sister, a mother or a father, a child and a parent. And actually, God's love needs all of those analogies to kind of approach what his infinite love is. It's not that because we've called him Father we can't have Mother, or because we've called him a parent we can't have him as a husband or wife. Actually, God's love needs all the images we can give, and so therefore we celebrate the love of God for all of us. Thank you.